I think for me, pressure is such a big part of the game. I think if you don't feel any pressure, then you don't care enough. You know, for me, the pressure comes from me putting a high expectation for myself, going out there, you know, defending my belt, going back home without it is not an option for me. So the pressure is there, not only to win, but to perform to the best of my abilities and being better than the previous outing. So
Dricus du Plessis isn't just fighting for the middleweight title at UFC 319. He's fighting to prove that his unique, often controversial fight style is exactly what makes him a legitimate champion.
Yeah, I think, you know, with my style, that is a very, like I say, it's a very controversial style in the UFC. Unlike anything that most people have ever seen, it's only a benefit because it's proven to be effective. But then again, how do you prepare for that? How do you find somebody to mimic that? And that's at the end of the day almost my niche.
For years, du Plessis has been considered an underdog by many, and yet, with every fight, he has proven people wrong. Despite skepticism from big names like Joe Rogan, who once expressed concerns about du Plessis' fighting technique, the South African has steadily moved through the ranks of the UFC, racking up wins and showing a more polished and refined game with every outing. He's proven that it's not so easy to defeat him, regardless of how unconventional his style might appear on the surface.
DDP and Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah.
Who emerges from that?
DDP, you know, man, he is something else, bro. For so long we thought he just was bad. He's not. He's really good. He's like really, really good.
Did you ever see that thing with him? And like he's like, they show like a clips of Homer Simpson, like doing everything wrong and somehow winning, and they kind of show like the same.
Dude.
That is
bro.
Hilarious.
He was just. I was like, okay, so Izzy's gonna just counter him. He's too good. And he got Izzy bad. He was all over Izzy. I mean, he put it on Sean Strickland bad.
Yeah.
That last time. Like,
you gotta respect that stuff.
His next challenge comes in the form of Khamzat Chimaev, a fighter who has been building a reputation as one of the most dangerous in the UFC. For du Plessis, it's not about just surviving against a dominant wrestler. It's about making sure the fight doesn't stay on the ground long enough for Chimaev to impose his will. Du Plessis has always been ready for a challenge, and the middleweight showdown is no different. In fact, du Plessis has made it clear that this fight will be one of the toughest he's faced in his career, but he's also confident that his controversial style will give him the advantage.
And every time that you step in there, you're going to face the next most dangerous guy, especially as a champion. So for me, yes, this is the best fighter that the best opponent I've ever come up against, but once again, I will show my improvements and why I am the champion.
One of the major talking points leading up to UFC 319 is how difficult it is for anyone to prepare for a fighter like du Plessis. His unorthodox approach doesn't follow the usual UFC mold, and that's precisely why it's so effective. Opponents often struggle to find a training partner who can mimic his style, which makes it even more challenging to form a solid game plan. When asked about how others approach training for him, du Plessis acknowledged that when facing him, it's not just about wrestling or striking, it's about facing a fighter who can do a little bit of everything in a way that is tough to predict.
It's hard, close to impossible to prepare for me because I have this unique style that, you know, where do you find somebody to mimic it?
But even with his style-raising eyebrows, du Plessis isn't the type to back down from a challenge. He's aware of the criticisms and knows that some believe his strategy could one day be his downfall. Robert Whittaker, a former opponent of du Plessis and Chimaev, has suggested that the South African will eventually lose due to a mistake made in the chaos of his unusual approach. Whittaker's analysis is that du Plessis' style leaves him open to errors, and it's only a matter of time before one catches up to him. Du Plessis, however, isn't fazed by such predictions. He believes that, for the time being, this style is his biggest weapon.
DDP and Khamzat, who do you think wins that fight?
Honestly, Chimaev is going to get him to the ground. If he doesn't finish him there, I don't think he wins. I think if you can't get Dricus out in the first, which Chimaev can do, his first round finish is his thing. But if he doesn't get him out of there, I think Dricus, he's a guy that if you don't get rid of, kind of wins.
There's also the fact that du Plessis is the reigning champion, and that comes with its own set of challenges. He's now at the top of the division, meaning every fighter who comes for him is bringing their best. It's the nature of being champion. You're constantly fighting the most dangerous challengers. In his conversation about facing Chimaev, du Plessis acknowledged that the undefeated fighter is arguably the toughest opponent he's faced to date, but he's not intimidated intimidated. It's this very mindset that has made du Plessis so dangerous in the UFC. He's been able to adapt, improve, and overcome obstacles in ways that many fighters, including Chimaev, have yet to experience.
Khamzat is really known for his relentless pressure. He's an elite grappler as well. What can you exploit against him?
Yeah, I mean, Khamzat obviously world-class wrestling, grappling, but you know, at this level of the sport, everybody's world-class. You know, this is not grappling or wrestling, this is MMA. And that's where I'm going to exploit, is being the best in my... we're not fighting for a wrestling title, we're not fighting for a grappling title. We are fighting for the UFC title. And that's where I am the best. I'm not the best wrestler, I'm not the best grappler or best striker. But when you put all of those things together, if you combine it and that's the sport we do, I am the best in the world.
As du Plessis prepares for his showdown with Chimaev, the buzz around the fight has only intensified. Chimaev, known for his wrestling, has been working diligently to improve his cardio for the 5-round championship fight. With an 11-fight win streak, Chimaev has shown dominance in every aspect of the game, and he's now gearing up for a long battle against du Plessis. But there are questions about how Chimaev will fare in later rounds, especially given that his previous fights, like those against Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, were harder than expected when they went the distance.
Khamzat Chimaev on your back round 1 is not easy to get off. And then he was able to sink that in. And that goes to show how strong of a squeeze this freaking dude had.
Could he pull that same style against Dricus du Plessis? Because I will say this.
1000%.
This is where du Plessis' belief in his endurance comes into play. He's no stranger to the grind of a tough fight and has repeatedly shown that his cardio is one of his greatest strengths. Whether it's pressing the pace or making the fight ugly, du Plessis knows that the longer the fight goes, the more it will favor him. He's confident that Chimaev's wrestling will be neutralized if the fight stays standing, and du Plessis plans to make it a battle of attrition, where his stamina and adaptability will shine. Chimaev hasn't been taking du Plessis lightly. The undefeated fighter has been preparing for a grueling 5-round fight, training with some of the best in the game to ensure his endurance holds up. There's been speculation that Chimaev's training camp is focused not just on wrestling, but also on improving his striking and cardio, as he knows that du Plessis is a versatile fighter who can be unpredictable in the octagon.
I'm Arman Sarukian. We have a training camp with Khamzat Chimaev. He's getting ready for his title fight. He looks sharp, so excited for him and to see him UFC champion. So far his camp going well, he's healthy, he has a lot of energy, and I'm just here to help him whatever they need. If they need the wrestling, I'll wrestle. If they need the striking, I'll strike. So I'm here to help, and I want him to be a UFC champ.
Team Khabib, led by Khabib Nurmagomedov, has also weighed in on the fight with some advice for Chimaev. Nurmagomedov, one of the most dominant wrestlers in MMA history, has suggested that Chimaev should consider striking with du Plessis. The reasoning behind this is simple. Chimaev is cleaner and sharper when it comes to striking, and taking the fight to the ground could be draining, especially if it doesn't lead to a quick finish. Nurmagomedov's perspective is that Chimaev has the tools to make this fight his own, but he'll need to be smart and conserve energy for the later rounds.
Я думаю, что мое личное мнение, я бы Хамзату в стойке дрался. Вот чисто по боксу пустых, Хамзат лучше. Вот чисто по боксу. Это мое мнение. Просто здесь есть такой момент. Ты можешь сфорсировать события. Там раунд, 2. Но если ты его не финишируешь, ты очень много энергии потратишь. А потом надо в чемпионских боях. А Хамзат не был в чемпионских раундах.
There's also a significant weight of expectation on Chimaev. His fans and analysts alike are looking to him as the future of the middleweight division, with many predicting that he will be the one to dethrone du Plessis. But there's a downside to that kind of hype. Chimaev has yet to prove he can dominate in the later rounds, and his fights against opponents like Usman and Burns, which went the distance, have shown that he can be tested when things don't go according to plan. Chimaev's team knows this, and they're working to ensure he has the cardio and mental fortitude to go deep into a fight without burning out.
30 seconds. That's 125. Come on, that's 125. Yeah, that's it. Good, good, good. 130, go. 5. That's it. Yeah. 5. 8. Yeah. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. Good. Time.
The predictions from other UFC fighters are also adding another layer of intrigue to this title bout. Bilal Muhammad has weighed in with his own prediction, stating that Chimaev can easily outstrike Du Plessis if the fight stays standing. Muhammad believes that while Du Plessis has a lot of heart and toughness, Chimaev's striking is much cleaner and will allow him to dominate the fight in the stand-up exchanges. But he also recognizes Du Plessis' awkward style and chin, which make him difficult to finish, especially in later rounds.
Who do I got, DDP or Chimaev? Honestly, I mean, I think too many people are counting out Chimaev's cardio. I think where Khabib said it best, if he stands up with him and strikes with him, I think he'll do well. DDP is an awkward style, but he does get hit a lot. And he breaks a lot of guys with fatigue. If Chimaev doesn't come out super hard in the first round, trying to take him down and letting out all his energy, I think he'll be fine if he keeps it standing. And then maybe the later rounds, you try to wear on him a little bit, but you don't want to go out for that kill in the first round. And DDP just plays defensively. He's strong, obviously. And then you end up burning yourself out for 4 rounds. So he needs to be smart, especially in this 5-round fight. But I got Chimaev. I think Chimaev's a lot crisper on the feet. And definitely crisper on the ground.
One of the most notable predictions comes from Sean Strickland. Strickland, while having his own grudge against Du Plessis after losing to him twice in title fights, believes that the key to beating Chimaev lies in counter wrestling. Strickland has spent years training against high-level wrestlers, and he thinks Du Plessis has the tools to prevent Chimaev from controlling the fight on the ground. If Du Plessis can manage that, Strickland believes he'll win hands down.
Did you see DDP and Khamzat got announced?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Where's that gonna be at?
Chicago.
Oh no. They're letting the terrorists in.
Do you think he beats DDP or do you think DDP retains?
You know what's hard? So those little Chechen, dude, they can grapple. And like someone like me who I've been training with these for years, I usually could counter wrestle and grapple him. So I just don't know if Dricus can be able to counter wrestle him. But if he can, I think he wins all hands down, you know. I sparred the Chechen, like hands down, I think Dricus wins. But it's just gonna come down to like, are you gonna be able to like counter wrestle? And like you can, it's not hard.
All these takes and predictions are leading up to what promises to be one of the most exciting middleweight title fights in UFC history. Du Plessis' unorthodox style, Chimaev's wrestling, and the contrasting strategies of both fighters make this a fascinating clash. The outcome may well come down to who can impose their will first, and who can adjust when the fight inevitably heads into unknown territory.